This might be one of those videos that I put up and then take right back down. Which, if that's the case, this would be the second one this week. So I'd be sort of making, new records along the way. Anyway, stalling. Because I think to make the point that I'm going to make, I need to have sort of a personal story to back it up. And what I'm talking about also, there isn't any research about this. I have not found this. This is my experience, and it makes sense to me. It makes a lot of sense to me, and if it makes sense to you, that's great. Maybe by talking about this, even though it's not official, it would help somebody to figure their way and make their journey a little bit easier and faster. That's my aim anyway. Avoidant personality disorder, they say that you need two things. You need to have a genetic predisposition, and then you need to have a trigger in the form of emotional child abuse. And they don't know what the genetic predisposition is. That's the theory. That would explain why people who, even twins who grew up in the same household with the exact same type of experience, why one became avoidant and one didn't. It was because there was this genetic component. And I think, again, they don't do research on this. Nobody wants to speak up, and so I'm sort of flying out in outer space talking about this. But I think one of it is a low resilience, which they say is genetic, how easy it is for you to bounce back from terrible things and traumas, which would make sense, because then you have some awful thing happen to you, some traumatic abusive thing happen to you as a child, and if you can bounce back from it really quickly, then maybe it's not going to affect you so much. But if you can't bounce back, then it would affect you more. And the other thing that I think is a big part of it, and again, I've never seen this anywhere else, is the idea that there's sort of mental stickiness that for avoidant people, lots of ums too. Sorry. Again, stalling. For avoidant people, when they get a thought pattern, they say that there are neural pathways where you get sort of like habit thoughts, schemas. It's the new buzzword for it. And I think, usually the theory is that if you have a certain thought pattern, it's just a habit, and that you can change it and have a different thought pattern, and basically reroute the system. I think that with avoidant people, they don't reroute. I think what happens is that they keep the original neural structures, and then sometimes they can have an alternate structure, but usually it can't be rewritten. And so even if you go through therapy or whatever, that's why therapy is so ineffective generally, is because you just go back to the same thought patterns and you can't get rid of them. Even if you have absolute proof that something else is happening and something different is happening, you just keep going back. And here's what the stalling is. Because I have sort of a really, really personal example that, what the heck, right? Or what are the chances that somebody out there is going to track me down, regardless of the fact that it's already happened a few times. But anyway, I'll just say this. When I was growing up, obviously I'm a girl, and I developed really, really early, and started to get attention from adult men really early. And, I can't believe this was an abusive thing. I think it was told to me in an inappropriate way, in an insensitive way. But I think underneath it all, there really was sort of a protective, caring bent to it. I was told, I had it hammered into my head when I was 12 years old, that any man who was attracted to me was dangerous. Because when I was 12, that's the truth. Any adult man who is attracted to a 12-year-old, no matter what they look like, that's a sick person, and they are dangerous. And that is true, and that is accurate. But what stuck with me was the message. It wasn't based on my age. It wasn't any man who's attracted to you now is dangerous. It's any man who's attracted to you is dangerous. And it didn't go away when I stopped hearing that. And it didn't sort of lessen into specific cases of, okay, well, what you should learn from that message is that you need to be aware, and some people are okay and some people are not. That is not what happened. What happened was it broadened to the point where any person who was interested in me, for any reason whatsoever, I think there's something seriously wrong with them. I think that they are dangerous. And I thought it was a really big deal when I finally figured out where I got that idea. Because I don't dislike people, On the contrary, I think people are great, but when they're away from me, I think they're great. But that's what it is. That's where it started. That's where it came from. That's why. I'm not afraid of people. I'm not afraid of strangers. I very much mistrust people who are interested in me. If you're interested in me, there's something wrong with you. Or you're trying to get something from me. And I can't let go of that. And that's why. That's where it came from. That's where it came up from. Now I don't even want to know how much therapy that I've done. I know this. I've tried, the retraining of my brain so that I could have a more sensible way of seeing the world, and I've had, there are decent people in the world, and I've even had decent people in my life. Even though not many people, but, every once in a while, really good people who really did not have a personal agenda that was to either hurt me or to get something from me. I mean, there are actually good people in this world. But even knowing that, seeing that, I can't react to them differently. Going through therapy and knowing this and trying to rebuild this new neural, transmitting structure in my head and thinking a different way, I keep going back to this message that got drilled into me. And I don't see a way to get rid of it. That's just how it is. And I think that's how it works for avoidant people. And I think that we're all slightly different. And some people have skills in one area and in another area they're less skilled. And I think I'm very much less skilled in getting rid of the stickiness in my brain. That when I get onto a sort of thought pattern, that's how I think, and that's all there is to it forever. and it sounds completely nuts, but I almost all the time have these double thought process things going on in my head where I'm thinking of two different things at once and totally contradictory, and that's okay. I still believe them both at the same time. Make me kind of crazy. Probably does. So anyway, I'm thinking that telling you this, for as long as I can tolerate it being up and out there to the world, because I don't want to sound really vain, and I'm afraid I do by saying something like that. But whatever. You'll take from it what you will. What the point of this story is that it's possible you're doing the same thing, and it's possible that you could go back and find where you started having a certain thought pattern that isn't necessarily accurate or true, and that you could then deconstruct it or reconstruct a different set of thought patterns. Maybe you'd be more successful at it than me.